Welcome everybody to Simply Crochet. Thank you for being here, and I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. I am going to be showing you a cute stitch called the cluster V-stitch, and we are going to begin with multiple of 3 chains here, and I will begin this sample with 24 chains. So if you'd like to pause the video at this point and complete your chains, and then we can get started. I also will be showing you how to change colors on a new row, and I don't believe I've shown that on my channel yet, but I will be doing that. So just complete your chains and we'll get started. So to begin our first row, we are going to do a double crochet 2 together stitch in the 6th chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now I will go slowly here in case some of you don't know this stitch. Again, it's a double crochet 2 together. So you will insert your hook in that 6th chain from the hook, draw up a loop. You have 3 loops on your hook. You will yarn over and go through 2. Leave 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, go into the same chain, draw up another loop. You will then have 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, go through 2. You will have 3 loops and yarn over and go through all 3 loops. So that is what we call a double crochet 2 together. Now we will do 2 chains, and we will repeat this stitch in the same chain. So you want to yarn over, go right into the same chain, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through 2 loops, leave the 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, go into the same chain, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through 2 loops. You should have 3 loops, yarn over and go through the remaining 3. And that's what we call our cluster V-stitch. Now this stitch is a combination of the V-stitch and also the double crochet 2 together stitch. So it is that combo that makes it just really, really pretty. Okay, so at this time we are going to skip 2 chains, 1, 2, and we will repeat that cluster, drawing up a loop. I'll go slowly again. You have 3 loops, yarn over, go through only 2 loops, leave the 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, go into the same chain, draw up a loop. You now have 4 loops, yarn over, go through 2, 3 loops, and yarn over and go through the remaining 3. Then you will chain 2, yarn over, go into the same chain, yarn over, go through 2, leave the 2 chains, yarn over, go into the same chain, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through 2 loops, and yarn over, go through the remaining 2 loops. And this is what the cluster V-stitch will do. Now you will continue that, skip 2 chains, then do your V-stitch cluster, skip 2 chains, and so forth until you reach the end of the row, and then I will show you how to finish off this first row. We are at the end of row 1, and this is what your stitches should look like. At the end of your row, if you did the correct multiple of 3, you should have 3 chains left at the end. So again, between each of your clusters, you skip 2 chains, so you will skip these next 2 chains and then do a double crochet at the end of this row. Now, at this point, this is where I want to show you how to do a color change with our yarn. So I am going to pull up a white for the next row, and this is how you would do it. So in the middle of your double crochet, you will leave the 2 loops on your hook. And then when you bring up your your next color yarn, all you're going to do is grab the yarn and pull it through those 2 loops like that. And that's how you would finish. And you would then tighten your double crochet. You can pull that and then you would chain 3 before turning. So 1, 2, 3. So again, you can tighten that previous color, the yarn, and that is how you secure the color change. So I will go again and change it back to the green, and I will show you that again. So again, we chained 3. You will turn your work, and you can at this time cut your green yarn at any point, which you would weave in at the end of your work. So now, after chaining 3 and turning, we are going to work in the chain 2 space from the previous row. So we will work our cluster in there. So therefore you will yarn over, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through 2 loops, leave the 2 loops on the hook, yarn over again, draw up another loop, go through 2 loops, oops, and then go through the remaining 3. And that is your double crochet 2 together. Chain 2, yarn over to complete the cluster, go through 2 loops, yarn over, draw up a loop, go through 2 loops, then go through 3 loops. And that is what the cluster looks on the second row. And you will repeat that in each chain 2 space all the way down. We are at the end of row 2 here, and you should have this turning chain right here where you will just do your last double crochet at that top of that turning chain. So if you weren't doing a color change here, you would just do that double crochet. However, I'm going to show you how to go back to that color change. Again, we're just leaving the 2 chains right here. We're bringing in our new color, and we're just going to finish off that double crochet with that new color. You just want to tighten your colors here. Just want to make sure that's all tight. And then you would just complete that, and then you would do your chain 3. Now, there's different ways you can hide these yarns at the end of your work. Some people actually work them within. It just depends on the stitch you're doing. If you're doing more solid, this one has the spaces, so I wouldn't recommend hiding. However, if you're doing a more solid type work here, you can actually hide these through your stitches as you're working down the row, and I've seen that done. And it's fairly easy. Then you don't have to worry about weaving the ends at the end of your work, which that's what you would do. At the end of your work, you would just take your yarn with a needle and then weave it in to your work. And so it just depends on your choice. There's so many different ways to do that. So at this point, when you're finishing and doing your color change, you would just want to snip off enough to weave it in or to work it in. So you want to cut it fairly long so it's workable. You don't want to, you know, cut it too short. So at this time, we will then turn our work and finish our cluster here. And this is a beautiful stitch with the color change. That's why I am showing that today. There are almost, you know, 90% of your stitches can be, when working in rows, can be color changed to different yarns, and it makes a beautiful pattern. So I'm just doing the clusters here, and as you can see, it goes fairly quickly, and it's You know, doesn't take too much yarn. I know a lot of people are asking, does it take a lot of yarn? Not in this type of work. It's fairly easy. So, oops. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial, and this is a beautiful stitch for any project that you like. I think sweaters, Afghan scarves, blankets, it's just very versatile with any type of project. So if you liked this tutorial, please give me a thumbs up. Share the video, really helps my channel. Again, leave a comment. Let me know where you're watching my YouTube channel from, you know, what country, state. I'd love to hear from all of you. And if you're a new viewer, please subscribe. Really, really appreciate all of you. So thank you and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.